Hey y'all, welcome to the Filling Station. It's a new day, another opportunity to either make money in this market or to just learn from the market. But first, let me give my disclaimer. I am not y'all a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. We learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So we are looking at AMD, and I'd like to look at the 30-minute chart, y'all. So as of now, we closed at the 163.71, and as we see here, support was at this 161.02 area. We bounced from there only to have some trouble here at the 162.32 area. That is our resistance as of now. And if you want to look at support on a smaller scale, 161.97 will be the support. So the resistance again is 162.32. Should we break this area here, something stopped us around, let's say, the 162.53, something stopped us in this area here, so that could be a rejection area. Again, 162.53. Should we break that area, 162.72, and breaking that, we could use the moving average here at 163.01, could be a possible trouble area or resistance area. 163.13, and breaking that, y'all see the ATR trailing stop is at around the 163.25. Now, breaking this area brings us back to, let's say, around the 163.42, and breaking that level 163.69, breaking that 163.69, we could possibly have trouble again. 164.01. Should we break that area somewhere around the 164.32 and 164.55, those are possible areas of resistance for AMD today. Now, back to the downside. Let's say we break under the 161.97. Something stopped us here around the 161.59 area. Somewhere around here. Should we break that 161.59, 161.60 area, we could possibly find support around 161.39. Should we break that 161.02, something held us up here. So breaking that level, we could possibly come back to 160.75, again at 160.58. Breaking that 160.39, 160.24, and again at 160.07. Those are possible areas of support for AMD. So if that is something that you trade, I said often, y'all trade carefully, and once it goes against your why, get out, right? So we are looking at Meta, and Meta is an inside day candle for today. So let's go. We closed at 739.10. It too has come down and found support, bounced off of this 733.62, only to come back to this ATR trail and stop and have some trouble. So we know that 741.69 area was a resistance area for us. Now, support as of now, again, looking on a smaller scale, 740.07. Resistance, we can say that 741.69. Should we break that? There's trouble right here around 742.29. Let me say possibly 742.29. And breaking that 744.72. Breaking that 745.55. And should we break that 746.30? Again at 748.25. And breaking that 750.21. And breaking the 750.21. 751.20, let me see, 751.21 is the 200 EMA as of right now. So I did mention that it is an inside day candle. Let's look to the upside. If by chance Meta break above the 745.55, the upside target will be that 750.21. Now let's look to the downside. Let's say we break under 738.18. Again, support was around the 735.43. Breaking that level, 734.34, and breaking that, I have around 733.62, and breaking that brings us to the downside trigger of 733.60. 733.06. Now, let's see if I can make that a bit. There we are. 733.06. Should we break this 733.06, which is the trigger to the downside, we could very well find support here at 732.33, and breaking that brings us back to around the 731, which is the target to the downside. Should we break the 733.06 area, downside target 731. Breaking that 731 area for Meta today, the next level 729.14 is the next level I have as support. Again, I say, y'all, in this market, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is to have that discipline and finding the strategy that works for you. So if Meta is something that you trade today, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your reason for getting in the trade, get out, right? So we are now looking at NVDA. We closed at 174.98. As you can see, something has gathered us in this area here, right? So support was around the 171.29. We can say resistance was at this 173.08 area. However, looks like we're under that under that area. So right now 172.84 is support, resistance 173.14, again on a smaller scale. So should we break that area, we could possibly have support or resistance again around this area of 173.40. Should we break that 173.48, breaking that 173.60, should we break that 174.18, 174.52, which is where our ATR trailing stop, y'all know, in my opinion, that's going to be a strong resistance area for NVIDIA today. Breaking that 174.68, should we break that 174.92, 175.22, 175.47, and 175.88. Those are possible areas of resistance or rejection areas. Now back to the downside for NVIDIA today, under 172.84, 172.57, 172, let's say 172.35, 172.16, 171.96, and should we break that, it brings us back to this area. I call it that zone, 171.45. Breaking that, there's a few layers of support here down to the 171.29. Now should we break that, we could very well come back to the 170.92. You see, we tested this area here before. So if you're trading NVIDIA today, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And I said often, y'all, in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, right? So let's look at, we did Meta, AMD, and NVIDIA. Let's look at the SPY today just to see where we are. We closed at we closed at 635.55. What's interesting is this bounce here off of the 633.51, and the SPY is also an inside day candle, right? So let's say back to right now, resistance is around the, well, let's say that's our support area, 637.08, and we can say the resistance is possibly around the 637.46. Now back to the upside, breaking the 637.46, 637.66, 637.96, 638.30, and breaking that, we could use that 200 EMA as of now, 638.50 as a resistance area. Breaking that, 638.72. Should we break that, 639.08, and breaking that, the next level, 639.64. Now breaking that, the next level is 640.28. Those are possible areas of resistance for the SPY today. Now back to the downside. Let's say we break under this area here of 636.96. Something is holding us up in this area here, 636.96. Should we break that, we can use the moving averages. I'm using the 50 and the 20 EMA as of now as a support area around the 636.43, breaking that 636.34, which is an area that I already have. So that's kind of close, right? So that could be a strong area of support for the SPY, that 636.34. Again, not financial advice. Breaking that brings us back to the 635.89, and breaking that brings us back to the 635.40. Breaking that area, y'all see the ATR trail and stop at the 635.08. In my opinion, that's a strong area of support. Breaking that brings us back to the 634.85, and breaking that somewhere around 634.66, not very far away. However, breaking that level, 634.36, which brings us back to this zone here that we were trading in on yesterday. So breaking this level brings us back to the 633.79, and breaking that for the SPY, 633.37, and breaking that 632.93. So I did mention that the SPY is an inside day candle. So if by chance we break above the 637.96 area, the upside target for the SPY today is 639.64. To the downside, if by chance we break under 633.79, let's see what the downside target for the SPY today is. here. It's 632.93. So breaking the 633.79, downside target is 632.73. So if the SPY is something that you trade today, I said often, y'all, mark your levels. Once it goes against your Y, get out. Live to trade another day. So before we look at Tesla, there are a few inside day candles. Y'all know I just like to look at those. Why? Because it kind of helps build our watch list and it gives us a possible target, meaning if we should break this area, this is the possible target to the upside or to the downside. Now, AI is an inside day candle. Should we break above this $16.93, the upside target today, $17.34, to the downside under $16.54, downside target today for AI is $16.29. And let's go see how much it normally moves per day, $1.39. So if AI is something that you trade, I say trade carefully. And let me see if Google is. It is. Google Alphabet Inc. Let's say Alphabet Inc. C is an inside day candle for today, breaking above this level of 205.58, which gave us an upside target of 205.58, not very far away. Now to the downside, breaking under the 202.28, downside target today for Alphabet Inc. C, 198.51. So if Google is something that you trade, Alphabet Inc. C, let's go see how much. $4.13 per day. Again, y'all, that could be in either direction. I said often trade carefully. Netflix is also an inside day candle again. So Netflix is interesting to me. It just trades like Tesla. So if we should break above the 1221.77, upside target 1223.40, to the downside under 1196.96, downside target 1193.36 for Netflix today. And again, it normally moves $28.33 per day. So if you trade Netflix, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully. So QQQ is also an inside day candle for today, breaking above the 566.43, upside target today for QQQ's 568.59, to the downside under 561, downside target today is 558.84. And let's go see how much QQQ normally moves, about $6.54 per day. That is the ATR, or the average true range. And keep in mind, y'all, that could be, again, in either direction. So SQQQ is also an inside day candle, breaking above the 1882. Upside target today is $19. Now to the downside under 1828. SQQQ, the target today is 1809. So breaking that 1828, 1809 is the target. And let's go see how much it normally moves, about 62 cents per day. And again, that's in either direction. You also, if SQQQ is something that you trade, I say it often, trade carefully. So let's look at Tesla. I say it so often, y'all, Tesla just does what Tesla does, right? So we close at 320.11. What's interesting is this 318 area for Tesla. I've been watching that 318, and we bounced from there only to come back up to an area around 321.91 and got rejected. So this is an area that I definitely need to be watching for Tesla today, above this I'd say 322 area. So where are the trouble places as of now? We can say that support is around 321.21. Well, 321.47 is our support. Resistance 321.91, again on a smaller scale, right? So 321.91 could be another rejection area for us. Breaking above that, 322.37, again at 322.60. 322.84, 323.36, and there's a few layers there up to the 323.74. Should we break that 323.74 for Tesla today? 324.15 could be a rejection area, breaking that level. 324.52 and 324.80 are possible areas of rejection. Now, back to the downside under this level 320.99. Y'all see that's a level that we have marked, and that 50 EMA. I just love to see that. Breaking this brings us back to the 20 EMA. Again, another level that we have marked around the 320.64. Breaking that area, there's a few layers of support down here at 320.51, 320.30, 320.09, 319.79, 319.62, breaking that 319.33. I definitely need to be watching this area here, in my opinion, for Tesla, because it was a gathering spot for us, meaning, prices gathered in this area, found support, and moved back to the upside. So breaking this area, in my opinion, will be a strong area of, support, breaking that level. So that 319.33, I definitely, again, need to keep a watch on. So breaking that, we could possibly come back to the 318.90. Y'all see that's where the ATR trailing stop and a level that we have marked. Breaking that 318.68 and breaking that level 318.09. Should we break that, the next level is 317.61. Breaking that 317.61 area, which is here, we could possibly come back to 316.98. 316.60, those are possible areas of support and resistance. And Tesla is an inside day candle for today. And I'm going to see if I can go to a higher time frame to see if we can mark those areas. Not sure if that was okay. So if by chance we break above, I'm going to go back to that. Okay. So if we break above this area here of 324.91, which is here, 324.91, we have an upside target for Tesla today here at this level of 330.49. So breaking above 324.91, we have a target of 330.49 for Tesla today. Now back to the downside. Let's say we break under, I know the downside target for Tesla today. Here it is right here. If we should break under this level of 318.68, so that's why I'll be watching at 316 area. If we break under the 318.68 area for Tesla today, downside target is the 315.69. No, the downside target is at 314.61. So definitely need to watch Tesla. If we break under the 318.68, downside target again 314.60, 314.61. So if Tesla is something that you trade, I say trade carefully, y'all. I do apologize again that my Tesla charts are just ridiculously busy, right? Because again, I've been charting it for years, and I could possibly know where my trouble places are. It kind of lets me know here that I could possibly, have trouble in those areas, and if I delete them, I'm probably going to add them again. So I wanted to clear that up, y'all. So again, this is what I see when I look at the market. I say it often, y'all, there's so many different ways to trade the market, and what's challenging is trying to find the strategy that works best for you, and for you to have the discipline to execute your plan. I hope that everyone have a plan before entering the trade. Let me say that, right? So I hope that everyone have a very profitable and a very productive day. I say it often, y'all. Mark your levels. Once it goes against your why, get out. So until next time, y'all, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.